everybody. Okay, wow. I am pretty much blown away by how many of you are still out there. I really just kind of thought that I would put that video up and it'd be like crickets, maybe one or two things, comments here or there. Which, to tell you the truth, though, I have to say was not, I made it a point to myself when I put that video up. I said, that is not going to be a deterrent for me. I'm just going to keep doing it. I'm just going to keep putting them up if that's what I choose to do. But getting the comments or interaction is not the reason why. So anyways, I just want to say hello to every one of you. Thank you so much for a lot of you that came over to Instagram and found me over there. I tend to do a lot of funny things on my Instagram because I like to have fun. I like to do a lot of dub smash videos and things like that. So, hey, have fun. Go over there, check it out, Anyways, so I wanted to take a beat and kind of do something a little bit different that I've not done before. And kind of have a bit of like a bit of a confessional here. So this is going to be confessions number 1. So I guess what I want to talk about, and it's kind of weird that it's coming out. It seems like a lot of people are talking about it now. Recently, if any of you follow Shay Carl, the Shaytard, Shay Carl, he came out and started talking about alcoholism and his struggles with it, which, by the way, shocked me. I never knew. I never would have thought that he had a drinking problem. So that was shocking to me. And I think maybe seeing him come forward and talk about it, and you can tell that it's obviously painful for him, made me feel more comfortable to come out and talk about my own issues with it. I do not think that I am an alcoholic or that I'm anywhere close really to it. Then again, I'm not an expert. But I do struggle with alcohol and losing control with consuming too much alcohol. I am much like Shay. I am somebody who it's very easy for me to just be a very fun, loud, and spontaneous and just life of the party person without alcohol. It's very easy for me to do that. But it's even easier and even more fun when I add the alcohol. And I will also admit that being a little bit tipsy and a little bit drunk has made a lot of my life a little bit easier to bear. And in that aspect, I think that that's when you start kind of getting into a danger zone. When you are no longer doing it as an occasional recreation type of thing, occasionally, but you're having 2 to 3 vodka tonics every night after work before you go to sleep, just so that you can feel relaxed and feel a little bit better about the day you just had. That's when you're kind of, I think, getting into the danger zone. So with that being said, I will say that those 6 to 8 months that I was working with the attorney and also working at the gym, the YMCA, and full-time school as well, I fell into that unhealthy pattern. And I think, now that I think about it, coupled with not eating right and not really exercising as normally as I could, and the drinking pretty heavily on a regular basis, I think that that's where a lot of the weight came from. It's pretty obvious. So I had this moment, we talk about aha moments in the weight loss community. Well, I had kind of an aha moment with my alcohol issue. I was, oddly enough, working at the gym, at the desk, and there's a trainer there who, since I've had many interactions with him, I've come to realize that he's a bit of a douche. But I will give him enough credit in saying that he kind of, by being a douche in this way, made me become introspective of, what was happening. So we were talking and goofing around, me and somebody else that was working at the front desk, and he came up and, what's so funny? And we were talking about stuff. And I was just kind of very, very honestly and very openly kind of talking about like, oh man, I went out with my friends and had so many drinks and this and that. And then the other night I did this. And it was like everything that I brought up had to do with drinking alcohol and getting drunk. And, he laughed. He wasn't being a douche that way, but he laughed about it, whatever. And he said, it seems like you kind of drink a lot. And I was like, well, it's so hard because at that time it was coming to the end of school. Everybody was having graduation parties and get-togethers, and everybody knew I was moving. So they were like, oh, let's have a party, or let's get together. Let's say goodbye. Let's go to a restaurant, have drinks, whatever. I said, so it's really hard, to go to those functions and stuff. And, everybody's drinking. So I have a drink, and he kind of cut me off and he goes, oh yeah. So they don't serve water at those places, huh? And yes, it was kind of a douchey thing to say, but something kind of clicked with me maybe later on that day or later. And I just sat back and was like, yeah, that is interesting. They do serve water at those places. They do have even sodas or anything else, stuff like that. You don't have to drink alcohol. You don't have to be doing what everybody else is doing. So at that point, I tried out an idea I had where I said, I am just going to see if I can go a month and not really feel like I'm deprived if I go without drinking. And because I said, if I can't even go this month, if it's so hard, if I am counting down the days for me to get to that month without having a drink, then I know I have a problem. So I kind of just did it. And then I did. I went a month. And I think probably like within a week or two, I actually started to physically feel better. And I didn't really want or need to drink. There were a couple occasions that came up where everybody was drinking or something, but I just was like, no, I'm kind of, on a dry out, I was just kind of honest. I just said, I'm on a dry out. I'm just gonna, not have any drinks today, but thanks, and it wasn't hard. And so I think in that aspect, I can say pretty assuredly that I don't think that I am an alcoholic or that I have an alcohol problem. But, I've been told that, if you kind of have to sit there and ask, do I have a drinking problem? You might have a drinking problem. So it kind of makes me think. And I don't know if any of you guys out there have struggled with it. If so, I'd love to kind of chat about it in the comments a little bit because I'm still kind of trying to figure it out. But yeah, and since we've moved, I have gone out a couple times with some other wives on post here. And we've gone out and had drinks, and hung out and everything, but it wasn't like getting out of control. Yeah, well, one night was kind of drinking a bit for me because I haven't been drinking. But, and I said to Rob the other day, I said, and I really want to cut back on my drinking. And then he kind of looked at me and he was like, you haven't been drinking though. And then it just clicked that I was like, since we have been here, I haven't. We've been here for like 2 months and there's been really 2 times that I've gone out with some new friends and had a couple drinks. And I don't think that that's that bad. But I guess what I'm saying here is I kind of wanted to come out and talk about it because I never really took the time, or I guess it was very hard for me to discuss with you all my weaknesses or my vices and the problems I have in that area. I usually tend to come across as a very strong and assured person. And there's a lot of people that are like that in this world. But you can't assume that those people don't have their own problems, their own vices, their own crutches, their own, Achilles tendon, I think it's called, right? Where, or Achilles heel, whatever that saying is, where, it's the one thing that they just can't seem to really control. And I'm not saying that drinking was that for me. For me, actually, it's usually been smoking. Hey, there's another confession for you we can talk about next. But drinking is something that kind of really just hit my radars lately. So I kind of wanted to talk about it because I think it is important for us to really, really get out there the truth of what's going on with us. Because once we can address what's going on with our emotions in our head and our lives and the situations that we're in, I think it's a lot easier to kind of pinpoint where other things have kind of snowballed because of what you're going through. So, you know, for me, I was stressed out a lot with work and with school and with kids and basically single parenting a lot because of my husband's job. And, you know, it was just too much, and 2 jobs really, you know, it was just too much. And for me, I chose alcohol as an escape. And because of that, my weight is what snowballed and kind of went out of control. So I think it's important to identify those things so that it's out there and you're aware of it, and, you know, you can try to be mindful of it and fix it, because that's what I've been working on lately. So anyways, expect a lot more videos like this. They won't all be about weight loss. I know a lot of you guys are asking questions about what's my plan and what am I doing and things like that. So I want to make a whole other video about that. But for right now, this is it, guys. So thanks again so much for watching. I do appreciate it. And I will see you again when I'm ready to make another video.